Welcome back, people, to episode 21 of the TJ Martino podcast. We're here, and this is a very special time for the podcast because this is the 1 year anniversary of the TJ Martino podcast. So I started the podcast on July 1st of 2019, and now we're here, July 2020. So we survived one lap around the sun. And I'm really grateful for everybody that's been listening over the past year and has been giving me a lot of love and encouragement. Everybody from adults, older people, to younger people. I've had a wide spectrum of people, ladies, guys. Everybody's been coming up to me and showing me love, and I really appreciate it. And I wanted to say thank you to everybody. That was kind of my first thing I wanted to get off my chest. And that's kind of why I wanted to do an episode like this. I also kind of wanted to apologize too. I've been kind of slacking on episodes, if I'm being honest, but it's been tough. I think it's been tough for everybody, especially me. Obviously, Corona has destroyed my plans for this podcast over the spring. I was trying to get a bunch of more time in the studio at Ohio State and do more episodes. I had a lot planned after spring break. And whatnot, and it all obviously went to nothing, which sucks, but it is what it is. I've found a way to make it through it. It's just I haven't wanted to upload a lot of episodes because I don't like using the microphone I have. I'm using a Blue Snowball microphone. It's like a $50 one I got a couple of years ago. I needed it for a project, and I've been using that. And to be honest, it gets the job done, but when I have guests on, it's a lot harder, which, by the way, I'm doing this solo today, just figured, why not? You know, this is my time to toot my own horn. But like I was saying, the microphone just has not been to the level that I need to be at, and I want it to be at. And for that, I don't want to just churn out episodes with bad audio. And I've listened back to a couple of the ones that I've posted in the past, and obviously the content is there, but the audio cracks in and out at times and whatnot, and I've tried to fix that. So that's kind of been my thing. But right now I'm actually saving up and budgeting money to spend on equipment. I haven't really talked about this much at all, but I have been starting to kind of save up some money over the past couple of months. I think since probably January I've kind of started to set aside money to invest in microphones, cameras. I want to do video for this podcast. I have a lot of things I want to do for this in the future, and it's just really come down to monetary issues and budgeting and time, and you know how it is. We all got lives, and it's been definitely, everybody's life has definitely been affected in some way or another over everything that's happened over the past couple of months. But you know, we'll hang in there, we'll do it, we'll get it done. But as for this podcast, I got a lot of stuff I want to do, and I want to grow. I want to grow a lot. I mean, I like where I'm at right now as far as performance, but I know I can do better, and especially when I start uploading more and more, which I'm going to be doing, I just need to settle down and really figure out life right now. But definitely within the next couple of months, I want to, you know, when I find a place I'm going to live at and eventually work in, I want to settle down and really budget everything out and figure out what I need to get. Because I know equipment-wise I need to get microphones and cameras and all those sorts of things, but it's really coming down to what's the most affordable option and the most reliable option. So that's kind of where I'm at right now. And so in the meantime, I have been slacking. I'm not going to lie to you people. When it comes to doing the episodes here and there, you know, get caught up in the daily trials and tribulations of life, and that's what happens. But anyway, like I said, I'm really grateful for everybody who has been, you know, showing love, has been helping out, has been, you know, listening, all of those things. It really, really means a lot. And to everybody that's been a guest on here, thank you for your contributions, your insights, your humor, and everything. You know, it's really, really appreciated. I want to get more guests on of different varieties. I want to get better guests on. Not saying that my guests now have been bad, because they've all been great, they've been awesome, but I want to do some more things like that. I want to do some more reviews. I kind of dabbled in it last year on YouTube, did kind of movie reviews on there. They're not great, they're kind of cringy, but if you want to check them out, go ahead. But I want to do more of those, like in podcast form. I want to do more discussion, more I want to kind of mix in more segmented stuff with freeform stuff because I like doing both for different reasons. So that's kind of stuff. So this is kind of just me brainstorming right now, really. But for anyone that's a fan of the podcast and is interested, I mean, I kind of just wanted to do something, think out loud, and be grateful. So also, I have on this episode a very special thing I'm doing. I will be showing some of my favorite clips from the past year. So to celebrate the 1 year anniversary, I will be showing a few clips from over the past 20 episodes and, you know, some of my favorite moments or whatever I decide. And I'll have some sort of transition sound effect in there so you'll know which, when it's going to transition over into another clip. And then in the description, you will see the stamps for each episode that clip is for. So yeah, so thanks for everything, guys. Enjoy these clips, and I don't know what clips they're gonna be, so you'll see it and you'll listen, I guess. But thanks for everything, guys. Be on the lookout for a bunch of new stuff coming out. I know I've been kind of stagnant, but coming into the fall here, I'm really going to start to hunker down on the podcast and get the equipment that I need, get the space that I need, get whatever I need to make this the best that I can do and continue to have fun with it. And I love just the discussion, the free form, you know, get your ideas out there to the people, to the public. You know, I think it's very important in today's society for us all because we all have different ideas, different beliefs, different thoughts. So it's cool to get them out there, and that's what I kind of want to do with this podcast. So shout out to that. So enough of me rambling here. Check out these clips and check out all these episodes if you haven't. They're all very interesting and fun in their own ways. Even the cringy intro episode, which I did listen back to and get a little giggle out of that one if you want to listen back to it. But thanks for everything. The plays, everything has been good numbers-wise. Want to get better. We're going to the moon. We're going to Mars. We're going to the sun. But yeah, enough of me rambling. Check out these clips. Thank you for everything. Peace.
But yeah, so we kind of had a crazy night last night.
Right, yeah. Anyway, back to that. Wow, what an absolutely bizarre night here in Columbus, Ohio. Last night around, what was it, 1:30 a.m.?
Yeah, like 1:30.
Yeah, you know, I was in my home, you know, relaxing, and apparently some gunshots went off at the McDonald's on High Street in Columbus, and nobody died, right?
No,
just a guy got shot in the leg, right?
Yeah,
that's what I read.
I can't find anything.
But you would have thought, like a nuclear bomb went off in Columbus.
Pretty much.
Like, and I mean, I'm not saying that they blew it out of proportion because obviously you have to, you know, be cautious of that stuff, especially with it being
exactly,
you know, 2019 and all of the, you know, shootings that we've seen. It was pretty crazy to just get those messages, and I think it kind of caused a lot more hysteria than there needed to be.
I think, yeah.
But at the same time, it was definitely necessary. So I'm not saying that.
Yeah, it's definitely necessary. Definitely not trying to knock.
Yeah.
You know, emergency management kind of. But I think with social media and everyone's got their smartphones all the time, it's like it kind of gets blown a bit out of the water, but still, I mean, obviously not trying to downplay it.
Yeah, and I this obviously wasn't like an active shooter situation that, you know, we've seen on the news recently in Dayton, Ohio, which is dangerously close to here.
Yeah.
And also in El Paso and all of that, but in the sense that this, I think, was just some sort of dispute. I don't know the details of it, but Austin and I both live very close to that McDonald's, and the police
it's down my back
were
alley.
out, man. Like, there had to be like 10, 15 cop cars around that McDonald's area, man.
There was even more on High Street. I didn't see, I wasn't there, but on High Street there was like looked like 20 cop cars.
Yeah,
maybe.
it was crazy. And I think what I read from the police report was that in the parking lot area of McDonald's, a man in a black hoodie and a cowboy hat shot another guy in the leg, and the other guy like crawled into the McDonald's with his leg like bleeding, and then like ran out of the front door of the McDonald's, took a right, and like fell onto Pita right in front of Pita Pit, and like couldn't get up. And then that's when the cops showed up, luckily. And shout out to the Columbus law enforcement.
Thank you, Columbus PD, for doing what you do.
And another thing, I love the Columbus Police Department. Like, they are literally, they are awesome. Like, they're not like the typical a-hole college police department that like think that they're all like that by coming in and like shutting down parties.
I've never
the
really
only
seen
time the cops show up is when
down.
they're called, and that's because they have to be there.
Unless like it's like multiple times and you get annoyed, like
right,
like people are complaining about noise, and if they only shut stuff down if they come back like the second or third time.
Like,
So at that point, it's like it is what it is.
Yeah, it's like at that point you are just being a disturbance. Like it's not like that, but the cops are very understanding, and that's how, like, it's like they realize like Columbus is like there's a lot of crime in Columbus, and I think that they realize like that is more important to attend to than a bunch of kids playing loud music and getting drunk. Like at the end of the day, like, and I do definitely admire that about them, and they were there and responded great. And but I guess the thing is the OSU emergency Twitter account was just, I think, a little bit too lenient on this, in the sense of like they were like, "Oh, it's all clear. Like, so don't worry. Like, here, you have the tweets up. Read the tweets."
Well, the first one they rifled off was not the first one, but their recap. They say police say one person shot, suspect fled and is no longer in immediate off-campus area. Which again, I'm not a cop, but I mean, if you're following this dude, how do you know he's off, immediate off-campus area, but you don't know where he's at? I don't know. That's little pieces of the puzzle maybe you could put together. I don't know. And then it says the second one was suspect targeted specific person. It wasn't a random act. Again, kind of leaves an open window. Like, how? Yeah. I mean,
this whole thing was sketchy, and it was freaking everybody out because we're all like, this guy like might just barge into my apartment right now and like hold us all hostage. Like, I don't know. Like, if he's nearby, and like the cops are like rolling through the streets, and I'm like, oh my god, like this is crazy.
And they obviously have experts working on this, so they know I have the opposite of expertise in a field of a live shooter, but obviously they know that it was a targeted act. So apparently this guy who got this poor fellow who got shot in the leg was targeted by this guy in the cowboy hat. Mr. Cowboy ran away and was never found, at least to my knowledge. And then so they put out a tweet saying it was all clear within about a half an hour of the news breaking. And that we're all like, because I was in my room, and then my roommates, I heard commotion going on, and I heard a bunch of sirens outside, and I was like, those are really close. So I got up to look out my window, which is facing 17th, and so I saw the sirens, and I was like, something's going on. And then I get up, and all my roommates are freaking out, and they're like, dude, there's cops everywhere. They're in the front and back of my apartment. And so that was just, it's definitely just really, it was really crazy, really hectic. And like they called the all clear, and there was still cops like walking around, checking in between cars in our parking lot, like in the backyard. And so it was just like they said all clear, but I don't know, maybe they were looking for, shell casings, whatnot.
Yeah,
who knows what they're looking for?
Blood drippings, who knows?
But I mean, it was definitely not all clear. I wasn't giving my fight or flight in my natural instincts wasn't giving me the all clear. So, definitely just a crazy kind of situation going on, especially to happen all at like 2 a.m. when you're kind of winding down, about to go to bed, and then you're like, oh, there's a shooter about 100 feet away.
You're literally at the McDonald's. But the scariest thing is, and this is like one of the last things we're going to talk about with this is, okay, so last night, so I've been trying to, like eat healthy, and be healthy, right?
Be on that grind.
But when Saturday night comes around and, you had a long day, the best thing you want to do is just get some greasy McDonald's in your system, right? And so it was about 11 p.m. and I was going to walk over to that McDonald's and get, a McChicken and maybe a little bit of a small fry or something. Who am I kidding? Maybe even a large fry.
I was going to say
even 10 nuggets, who knows what's going to happen when I walk in there. When I go to McDonald's, it's always a very
Crack Donald's, as I like to call it.
Crack Donald's. it is always a crapshoot of what I'm going to walk out with. But so I was like, let's hit Mike's. We're making a Mike's run. Because I like to call McDonald's McDonald's, because I think Plies, rapper Plies, shout out to him, he calls it that, so I like calling it that too. I think it's funny. But yeah, so I was just trying to make a McDonald's run at like 11:30, but then we get there and it's packed. The parking lot's packed. And I'm like, you know what? I don't want to wait in this line. Screw this. Turn back around, and I was like, you know what? We'll come back at like 1:30, 2 in the morning, and we'll be fine. And that was the plan. That was the plan. Listen, that was the plan. I was going to come back at 2:30, 1 to 2 a.m. That was going to be my time slot, because that's usually the time I like going to McDonald's. I don't like going there when the sun's out.
If you go
not
to
a chance in hell.
McDonald's when the sun's out, it's like watching a horror movie when the sun's out.
It's like vampires going in the sun.
Doesn't
you don't
work.
You don't go to the golden arches in the sun.
Nope.
But so I was like, 2 a.m. will be good. I decided instead at like 12:30 to order some steak and shake from Uber Eats.
Got some delivery.
And that was the best decision I think I've ever made. Because if I would have been at that McDonald's, with that whole thing happen while I'm at the counter trying to order 10 nuggets and I see that guy bust through the door bleeding,
I'm trying to order.
I would have absolutely gotten just ape shit.
I'm trying to get some McNuggets and fries, and someone's getting clapped outside.
Right.
And
I would jump over the counter probably.
And keep in mind that if there was a list of America's top 10 worst McDonald's, this is definitely on that list.
Oh, it's definitely the top 5.
It is by far the worst McDonald's ever.
Ever run, ever assembled.
McDonald's, if you're listening, I hope you are.
It doesn't even have
you need to fix the North High Street, Columbus.
Because I love
Ohio,
McDonald's. I love you guys, and I hate to say this, but it's the real truth.
It's just like bad service. It's really slow. There's always a huge line, and you're always just like real pissed when you're in there because you're like, I want some McDonald's, and it's just not going to happen for a little while.
And they're missing, and I get like you're in a busy place, but they're missing the drive-through too. And I get logistically how they couldn't put that in there.
Logistically can't work, but
but still, like that's just
it feels off.
The McDonald's drive-through is just such a classic spot. Used to go there and just act like I had no idea what I was ordering.
And now I'll never walk by that McDonald's ever again without thinking someone got shot right here.
It was bleeding all over the floor here.
Literally.
Shout out to the guy that had to mop that up.
Yeah, I was gonna say I want to go in and be like, yo, you guys good? Who had to clean that up?
Right.
What's the procedure on that? Yo, we got some blood out there. Some dude got shot. Like, oh, okay, just another day in the office at McDonald's.
Right. So at least no lives were lost, and
hopefully
the guy that got shot is okay.
Speedy recovery.
And hopefully they have caught the gentleman in the cowboy hat, which is another thing. Negative shout out to the cowboy hat guy.
I don't know why.
Don't bring your weapons to McDonald's. Come on, guys.
That has an automatic lock on it, so I thought our new house had the automatic lock on it, but it didn't. So I went to hang out with Whites and Divine and them because it was like the third day back. I didn't see their place yet, and before I left, Mazur was just pissed drunk. He was just in his bed with his phone in his hand, and I was slapping his phone. I was like, "Let's go to the view," and he's like, "No." So he passed out. So I left, closed the door, forgot to lock it, and then I ended up sleeping at the view. So
Apartment complex.
Yes, sorry. I ended up sleeping at my friend's apartment. So Bennett comes in and he goes, "Yo, you don't have to sleep on the." This is like at 9. He's like, "You don't have to sleep on the couch. You can sleep in my bed. Like, I'm going somewhere." Like, and I was like, "All right, word, that's fine." And because I ended up sleeping there, and he comes in an hour later and says, "Yo, good morning. You guys got robbed." And I was like, "What?"
Wait, what?
I was like, "What?" And he's like, "Good morning. You got robbed." And I called Warsaw, and Warsaw's like, "Did you leave the door unlocked last night?" And I was like, "I might have."
I might have.
And he's like, "Well, yeah, I have money missing from my wallet. Masler's TV, laptop, and phone were taken." Like, Masler fell asleep with his phone in his hand. So the fact that they took the phone out of his hand.
Dang, that dude.
Like, they had to have had like a backup plan or something if he woke up. Like, thank God Masler can sleep through with like a dumb truck going through a nitroglycerin plant or something like that. Because,
dude, I think it would have been better if he would have woke up. He could have caught him in the act.
like, no, dude, dude, they must have had a backup plan if they woke him up. They're taking a phone right from his hand. They probably had like.
Probably would have bashed him over the head with something.
Yeah, and
jeez,
Masler's too nice of a guy to get bashed in the head. That's why I felt really bad.
So then what? So you get that call that
I was
from your roommate.
was like, "What's in my room?" And he went to my room, and I literally was thinking about installing my the keypad lock for my door like that day, and I didn't do it. And I did it the day after.
I bet you did.
But I asked, and I was like, "Is my laptop in there?" And he was like, "No." And I was like, "Fuck." And I was like, "What about my backpack?" And he's like, "No." And I was like, "Anything else?" He was like, I think your microphone's gone too."
Oh my gosh.
And I was just like, "No fucking way." So I came home and just saw that my guitar was still there. My dad would have kicked my ass if they took that guitar. And just saw everything was gone. Just fucking cried.
Wow.
And got over it. And then I was like, fuck it. That's going to be the theme of it. Like, that's going to be the theme of the album. Like, can't get much worse than that.
Yeah, honestly. So how many songs were on there?
Oh my God. They're like hundreds. Not hundreds. Probably like 100. Like 100.
Around 100 songs?
Final answer, yes. Yeah. There was a lot of like ideas and stuff I had on there, but like finished songs probably like not like recorded. A lot of instrumentals I lost that I was gonna work on because like I was still learning. I still am, but like production is like I can make that and like I can make like a beat in like 10 minutes and like I may want to save it or I may just never use it again. But
yeah,
like I had a bunch of those, and
you made the beat to this podcast.
Yes, actually. I did. That was on that laptop, and I don't think I have a couple saved in my Dropbox, which is good then. But thank God for the cloud.
Yeah. So how many did you actually save from it? Like how many of the songs that you made before you got robbed did you actually recover?
So I probably lost. I probably had like 25, and probably saved like 10 of them, 12 of them. The others I lost. The others weren't that good though. So
yeah,
like I saved the best, which were.
And honestly, like as long as you like, yeah, it's just like that's.
It just sucks because I lost a lot of things I can't edit.
Right, and you had probably ideas that you wanted to expand upon, and then now they're just gone.
Yeah, in the hands of a swindler.
Yeah, so that I love that the concept and so what would you say like what artists like do you think like inspire like your sound, because you do a lot of like different sounds on this album, like you got a lot of pop rap, you have some R&B, some pop guitar ballad stuff, like you got a lot of stuff, a lot of diverse sounding tracks on here. So like, who do you like, obviously like who do you think like
I grew
you, I guess.
So
I don't know how I could ask that question. I was like struggling to word that. But
I grew up listening to. My parents didn't let me listen. I didn't even question, but my parents hated like if we listened to pop, and like when we were growing up, like the pop was like the not pop really, but rap, I guess.
Mhm.
They didn't like when we listened to rap. So we listened to a lot of classic rock growing up. And after that, like our band played a lot of classic rock. Like we were like 10 years old playing like 10 years old playing like Sweet Child of Mine or stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like and then my cousin showed me J. Cole Power Trip, and I was like, this is insane.
Yeah.
So I started liking rap more. So
That was the first rap song that you got exposed to was Power Trip by
Yeah.
J. Cole?
yeah, like that, like I actually listened to it. I was like, wow, this is sick. And I liked a lot of Panic at the Disco too, and like
Mm-hmm.
that kind of music,
Like
Like the-
alternative,
like alternative
punk
Beatlesy
rock
kind of.
stuff, yeah.
Like those big sing along choruses. And then Frank Ocean, Jid, and Anderson .Paak are like up there as my favorites too, because they're like they're kind of like soul-y jazzy. Not Anderson .Paak really, but Jid is.
Anderson .Paak is definitely jazzy.
I love Jid's. I don't. What would you even? Jid's R&B, I guess.
Jid is like he's a rapper.
Yeah, but he's kind of R&B too.
Yeah, he
Like-
does like some sing-songy stuff.
Like, you know the song All Bad?
Yep,
That's probably one of my favorite songs.
that's a
ever.
really good song.
Yeah.
One of the most challenging parts of having a busy lifestyle is finding time to go to the grocery store. I mean, seriously, you have to drive to the grocery store, park in the busy parking lot, go into the store, get a cart, then go aisle to aisle finding all of your different items. And then as soon as you have all of that done, you got to wait in line in the checkout lane while some person in front of you has 400 boxes of cereal. And then as soon as you're finally up, you have to check out, load everything into your car, and then bring it all home and unload it. It's just such a process. And there's so many other things I'd rather be doing than going to the grocery store. Luckily, there's Instacart. Instacart has unlimited grocery delivery for one low monthly fee. They provide hand-selected items by shoppers based on your preferences and deliver your items to your door in as fast as an hour. Instacart also highlights deals to help you save money. Following the link in the show's notes lets Instacart know that I sent you and helps support the show.
As far as just life being crazy and stuff, I had a question for TJ, I don't know, like 2 days ago. And I believe I read online, I watched a TED Talk from an astronaut. And back in the day when we first launched, the Apollo 13?
Apollo 11. Which one?
I don't know which one was the
The
first
first
one.
to get on the moon?
Yeah.
Apollo 11.
Yeah, back in the day, I guess there was a 1 in 9 chance that you're not going to make it. And I think today I read online or from this TED Talk, don't quote me on this, I could be completely wrong. But it doesn't change the basis of what I asked TJ. And I think it was a 1 in 29 chance that you're going to make it today. And I asked TJ, I go, TJ, if someone were to come to you right now and sign you up, and there's given about a 3% chance that you're not going to make it, would you go to the moon? And what's your answer?
100%.
That's blasphemy.
Why would you not?
Dude,
It's the moon.
That's a 3% chance that you're done. You're gone.
I'll take my chances. There's a 97% chance that I survive.
What do you want from that?
I want to go to the moon and see the Earth from the moon.
You think that'd be obviously it'd be life changing, but you think it'd be worth it just to have a 1 in 30 chance? They'd be like you.
Yes!
They'd be like you sitting in one of
Yes!
your Stratcom classrooms, and there's 30 kids in that classroom. Someone comes in and says, "Picks one guy," and you're done.
Are you saying 1 in 30 or 1 in?
Like 1 in 29. So there's 29 kids in the classroom. Some guy comes in, and you just randomly get picked.
I'd take my chances. To go to the moon, I'd take my chances.
Dude,
It's the
I wouldn't do it.
freaking moon.
I would do it if it was like 1 in 10,000. Because like we talked about this,
Of course.
I'm a big numbers guy, and I just think, dude, 29 is not that many. 1,000 is not that many. If you're talking about your life,
The
dude,
moon. It's the moon.
I mean, I understand. I mean, it would be pretty badass to go to the moon and just
It would be amazing.
come back down to Earth and be like, yeah, I just did that. Like,
Yes, I went to the moon.
you'd be a popular figure. You'd be an icon.
Totally. I would take if I took a picture on the moon, it would get 1 trillion likes.
Would you take it with your iPhone?
I would take it with
Apple?
what other camera is up there. All right, I'd have
think-
Stanley
you think you-
Kubrick shoot it for me.
You think you go up to the moon and you FaceTime someone or you take a video and you're like, I'm filming on my Apple, what is it, like 11? What's the Apple?
iPhone 11?
Yeah, you're like, I'm filming this with my iPhone 11 and it's like perfect quality. Dude, Apple would probably pay you about like 10 mil for that.
Oh, definitely.
You know, that would be...
They would have probably contacted me about doing that before I even got on the moon.
And I think we're going to see that. I've thought about this before. That's like the
advertising
biggest,
from the moon?
Like, Apple is out of this world. Like, something like that. Like, just like they'd have some crazy slick slogan and it'd be like some beautiful commercial with like perfect picture. And
they got to build cell phone towers on the moon first.
What do you mean?
So you can go up there and like live stream from the moon.
Oh, I forgot. Do you have connection in the whatever the shuttle or whatever you land on? I mean, like, do you have internet connection in there? I mean,
I think they do on the International Space Station, but that's like close to Earth, like compared to the moon.
So, but they have to have contact when you're on the moon. You can't just not have contact with Earth. They have to have some form of contact.
No, they do. They had radio. They would radio to each other.
Can you bring like a hotspot up there? Like, how does that work?
Dude, they had radio.
Radio.
Yeah, because that's really hear Armstrong say, "One small step for mankind." You know, that whole thing. Yeah. That was over the radio.
Yeah, I just think that's great. And then you know what I hate is like when people doubt that we went to the moon, or like,
yeah.
I mean, you have to be American. Like, you have to be proud of that. That was one of the biggest achievements in American history.
It's not a pride thing. It's more of a belief thing. Like, people just don't believe it exists. Like, the people don't believe it existed. Like, people think it was a hoax.
That's ridiculous. I just think if you're American, man, you got to be proud of that. That was amazing.
Yeah, it was an amazing achievement.
I went to I was in Dallas, Texas with my grandmother, and we went to the John F. Kennedy Museum over at the school book depository.
Kennedy wasn't president when
he kicked it off though.
Yeah, I mean, he was the one that said we're gonna go to the moon.
But so. I mean, like when we were going through, like, my grandmother was just so happy to see everything up and how well it was. Really well done. The memorial they had, it was right where Oswald shot him, and then on the 6th floor. But I mean, we were talking about the moon thing, and she was like just telling me how big of a thing that was. I mean, can you imagine if that happened today? And that happened like 60 years ago, and it's like, you know, our airplanes haven't changed much since then, which is kind of interesting too. Like, we put a guy in the moon, 60 years ago, and we've gone backwards as far as our aviation goes. We've gone backwards. We used to have supersonic.
Do you think there's a reason for that?
It's cost. It's money.
Yeah.
I mean, it costs a lot of money. It's not really...
There's nothing really we can do with the moon. Like what? Like, there's no resources really on
feasible.
The moon. Yeah, there's no real resources on the moon. Like, I feel like moon rocks. But like,
what are you gonna do with those?
Exactly. Rocks. Yeah, there's rocks.
Yeah,
and that's about it. Like, there's no water. There's no gold or anything. Like, and there's not even any cheese.
What's your thing with cheese? Why does it have to be cheese?
That's always been a thing. The moon was made of cheese.
Oh yeah. There has been a golf ball hit on the moon.
There has?
Yeah. It's the first
Did it go into space?
Yeah, it just went into orbit. First ever sport played on the moon.
That's pretty tight.
So the golf ball's still moving.
Is there basketball?
I don't think anyone set up a basketball hoop.
I mean, you can dunk so easily there.
I mean, like, what? You bring like a little Tykes hoop up there?
No, dude, get like a friggin' legit hoop, like an NBA one, and like drill it into the moon rock, and then make a little court on the moon.
We should put a Kobe Bryant mural.
Dude, we should make that's where Kobe's memorial court should be, on the moon.
On the moon. That would be unbelievable.
The Kobe Bryant memorial tournament on the moon. We need to leave our mark on the moon with Kobe. We should. No, I'm saying, I think one day they're gonna make a basketball hoop or a basketball arena on the moon.
Dude,
they're gonna have a team on the moon. The moon man.
Dude, one day they're gonna have retirement homes on the moon. Are you kidding? You're gonna have everything.
They're gonna vacation homes.
Yeah, no, 100%.
Or you can harvest crops.
You gotta give something for people to work for. You know, because everyone works hard, and then you retire and you're chilling, and then you go. But if people were like, hey, if you work hard, you're gonna retire on the moon, that'd be pretty badass. I feel like people would work harder, you know?
What if they did that? What if there was no young people left on Earth because all the old people...
there was
only young people on Earth because all the old people would get shipped to the moon. Once you get your AARP card, you go to the
moon. I feel like it would motivate people to get in the workforce and start working. Like, hey, you do this?
All the boomers would be going to the moon.
No, 100%.
I want to talk about something with you, Lexie, that I think could be an interesting debate.
Yeah.
And that is the topic of jinxing.
Oh. We had this conversation yesterday.
We are on polar opposite sides of the jinx scale. Lexie,
You're kind of, what, in the middle? Or you?
I agree with TJ more.
Okay.
so basically what this is Lexie, and she's not the only one, but she loves using the word jinx as like a way of explaining something happening. So like, if you don't know what jinxing is, the dictionary definition of jinx is to foredoom to failure or misfortune, to bring bad luck to. So basically what people say is like, oh, you're jinxing it. Like you're causing this thing to happen. Exactly. Right. So yeah. Lexie, you are a big believer in the jinx, right?
For sure.
And why is that?
Because it's true.
Like,
I mean, I just, like, even yesterday, like, I yelled at my dad because we were all sitting in the room, and he goes, I think Ohio State could win the national championship. And I said, you just jinxed it. Now they won't because you just said that they're going to. And I can't, you're putting that bad juju out into the world and saying, oh, yeah, they're going to win the national championship, and now they won't, just because you said that, because you put that out there in the world.
But he's not the first person in the world to say that.
Yeah, but I'm not hearing. I don't know how to explain it. But, like, I just am superstitious in that way. Like, I feel like when you're overly confident in something, it doesn't happen.
You mean cocky?
Yeah,
but there's a difference between something that you can control and something like Ohio State winning the national championship.
Like even yesterday, we walk outside to go back to your party, and it wasn't raining, and it was warm. And Aaron and my dad go, oh, wow, it's not raining, and it's pretty warm outside. And not even 5 minutes later, it starts torrential downpouring. And then it was freezing. And I'm like, you guys jinxed it. Like, just don't say anything like that.
So like, what do you think is behind, like, this happening? If
the negativity in the world, or the
negative energy? Yeah,
like the energies. Like, everybody just keep your mouth shut about that stuff, because then good things don't happen when you're cocky about it. You know? Like, if Ohio State's meant to win the national championship, they'll win the national championship. So just don't talk about it.
But what's the difference?
Like, when you go into a game, like when somebody, like when you're watching a game on TV or you're at the game and you're like, oh, this is a shoo-in. Like, it's probably not going to happen then.
I mean, yes and no, but like, it's like, it'd be different if you were on the team and you're saying that. Like, if you're Justin Fields and you're like, oh, Ohio State we're going to blow this team out, which, yeah, usually do. But
see, but you can't say that, because it's just putting the negative.
No, and that's what I'm saying. I'm saying
it's like
in that case, if
somebody in the world is spiting you, then they're gonna make you lose just because you were acting cocky.
Right, but like if you have like an impact on the situation, then jinxing I think may be more of a believable concept. But
so are you not superstitious?
Not really.
Aaron, you are.
I am more kind of for fun. Like,
yeah.
Like, I don't like really put a lot of weight into it, but I like just being superstitious for fun. Like, I like wearing like the same thing, like wearing Eagles stuff right now.
Aaron was an athlete. He played baseball. What did you do?
I always used to wear the same shirt. Always.
Baseball is very superstitious.
Same thing, same routine. Listen to the same songs before.
Really?
Exactly.
What was your song what was the song you would listen to right before you go on the field?
Right Above by Lil Wayne.
Oh. Of course.
Oh, the glory days.
So you would listen to that same song every single game.
It's good juju.
Oh, because you believe that?
Because I had an impact.
Yeah, because he was playing in the game.
Yeah. You don't have any impact on Ohio State. You're not like on the field scoring touchdowns.
I know that, but it's still just like, I just don't. I think it can backfire, so I believe in that.
Is it more that you're like afraid of being wrong, or is it more?
That's a good question. I don't know. No. I just believe that somebody out there is then being like, ha ha ha, you just said it's not raining? Ha, well now it's gonna rain. And that's exactly what happened last night. We weren't out there for 5 minutes, after Aaron.
It was raining all
and
day.
Tom
I mean,
said,
you could have guessed that.
No, but it stopped, and it was warm, and both of them go, "Oh, it's not raining anymore, and it's pretty warm outside." And sure enough, it was freezing and torrential downpour. So, I think they jinxed it. But if they wouldn't have said anything, it probably wouldn't have rained.
What are you? But you say you're very superstitious. What other like superstitious habits do you have, Lexie?
Like, I don't.
Like, is there anything that like you do? Like,
I'm extremely obsessive compulsive. Like, I do a lot of things the same way every single day. Like, I have to wash my face the exact way every single
and how is that
day? What do you mean?
Like, how do you like? What is there like? You said there's like a same way that you do it. Is there like a specific
order?
So what is the order? I'm just interested.
I do the first step with my face wash, and then I brush my teeth, and then I do the last 2 steps, and then I take all, like in the morning, then I take all my vitamins, and then I get changed, and then I leave.
In that exact order.
Yeah.
Every morning.
Yeah. And every night.
Fascinating.
It is. I'm pretty OCD. That's why I'm so clean. Because I can't stand. I love right now that we're going to drive all the way back to Milwaukee tonight, and when we walk in, it'll be clean.
Nope, there's dishes.
Yeah, and then he put a dish in the sink before we left, and I haven't stopped thinking about it since he told me about it on the way
Thinking
here.
about that dish just
I'm like,
sitting
oh
in
my
there.
God, because I had it all done. Everything was clean. The dishes are all, nope, now I got to think about doing that dish when I get home.
That's the thing I hate about living with 5 other people is that like I'll like do the dishes because I'm like the only one that does the dishes.
Mm-hmm.
I'm the only one that cleans because nobody else in my apartment cares. So like they just don't care if they live in
they're
filth.
going to hear this, right?
Yeah, I know they will. This next segment, I guess, is called the Roaring 20s. We are entering the Roaring 20s here in the next week or so. Week or 2 weeks, something like that. By the time this comes out. And I just kind of wanted to, I guess, talk about, like, what, like, kind of a reflection of the 2010s. Like, what's, like, your fondest memories of the time? What did you guys learn the most from this past decade? Like, from being, like, 11 years old to
I was gonna
20.
say, since I was 11,
Yeah.
I learned a lot.
I've learned quite a bit.
What sticks out to you the most, do you think? Like,
I mean, I basically...
like, off the top of your head. Because, like, obviously this is a really hard question, so, like, I just kind of want to start a discussion more than anything. Like, so, like, off the top of your dome, like, what's something that, like, you can look back upon this decade and be like, man, like, I've changed in this way or learned this thing or whatever. I don't know. Just, like, I it's kind of like just, like, a reflection.
Well, I would argue that this past decade for, people our age, it was huge. We grew up. We finished our primary education.
Yeah.
It's a big deal. I don't know if I could pick one thing that I've learned about myself or learned about life.
It's kind of a broad question.
Yeah.
Favorite year of the decade?
Ooh.
I just thought of that question.
That's a good one.
Great question.
Maybe 2016, because I think
So we graduated high school.
graduating high school and then going to college, that kind of,
Yeah.
that was a big chapter of our lives that, I loved college and still do.
I'd have to say probably Coney 2012.
2012?
When we finally...
Or just Coney, the Coney
just
2012 video.
Did you guys share that
No.
on Facebook? Because I did.
Oh, I did.
I knew it was a cash grab.
Oh, really? I really believe... I almost bought
Wait, did it not happen?
It wasn't real.
No, it
was
totally
a scam.
happened, but like
Oh.
those like the foundation itself was like really like weird. Like,
Wasn't it all like made up though? Like there was no Coney?
No, I think
Coney
he's
definitely
real.
exists or
Oh.
existed. I don't know, but like.
Well,
in
we
that
gotta
whole
get it.
Coney 2020.
What I kind of took away from that video was like, that like basically like the people that were like running the foundation for like they basically used the Coney thing as like a way for their own like gain, I guess, because like the guy like that was running it like got in some like trouble with like I don't really know like the whole extent of it, but like I just remember hearing that it was like all kind of a sham. The whole like obviously not like the situation in Africa, but like the people using those situation for whatever.
Yeah.
So I don't know, but yeah, that was like really like one of the first like viral videos like that I can remember.
Oh yeah.
That was
What's the
like
first
one-
viral video you remember?
Shoes.
Charlie bit my finger.
Oh
That's
yeah.
a good one. Do you remember Shoes?
Oh, I remember.
Charlie
shoes.
Unicorn.
Shoes. Let's
Oh
get
yeah,
some
shoes.
Let's get some shoes. Let's get them.
Or have you guys ever seen that? Have you guys ever seen that video of like the car that drives down the green hill and then the car pops out?
Yeah.
That one used
Everyone.
to scare me so much when
Yeah.
I was little.
You can't do that to kids anymore. They're
I-
probably like, I know what this is gonna be.
Yeah.
You know, I recently got rickrolled.
Oh
is-
yeah.
So-
My professor emailed me and said, "Here's the answers for tomorrow's final," and I got rickrolled.
Yeah.
That's a
Yeah.
That's savage.
that's a
Yeah.
chum joke.
Yeah. I was pretty upset.
Oh yeah. So what else about? So you would say 2012 is your favorite year?
No,
Please
no,
don't.
I didn't mean that.
Uh, like what year of your life were you like, man, like I'm so happy that like I lived through that year for whatever reason?
You know, I guess just every year, maybe even this year.
Yeah,
You say
2019 has
2000?
been a pretty
Maybe
good
every
year.
It
for
year.
has
It's
been.
just
It's been an
getting better.
underrated year.
Yeah.
2019 has been an underrated year.
I would like to think that every year my life is just better.
Oh,
That's a good
really
way to,
sweet.
you know, that's I like that.
Well,
Well,
Mine would probably be 2016 too. And I think
yeah,
just because I did so much like in that year and I changed so much.
a lot of new experiences that year.
Yeah. Cuz
Yeah.
like it was like the middle point of the decade, like like you said, getting out of high school, like transitioning into becoming
Your own person, kind of.
yeah, like finding an identity was like more
Yeah.
of me because like kind of like when I got into the like 2010s, like when I was like 11 years old, like I didn't know who I was gonna be. Like I still kind of don't, but like
Yeah,
I have
I
more
don't
of
think
an
any
idea
of us
than
do.
yeah, but I had like more of an idea now than I did 10 years ago, I guess. But
yeah.
2016 though, like I guess like I went to I went on a lot of trips. Like I went to Europe, that was really cool. Like
It's awesome.
went and I'll be telling stories about that for eternity on this podcast, so you'll hear more about that. But
Stay tuned.
yeah, stay tuned.
So
I also have like I'll mention this at the end, but like also I went to Cancun for spring break that year and it was really fun and yeah, I don't know. Guess good trips that year.
Yeah.
Good friends, good times. I don't know. The
vibes.
summer of 2016 was a time to be alive, I'll tell you what. Like just
Did you get rowdy that summer?
oh, I mean, from what I can remember, yeah. I guess because like that was when my trip was to Europe and all that. Like that was really like one of the highlights of my decade. Just because like I got to see, I always wanted to go to Europe, so like getting to go and see like different countries like
Yeah.
gives you like kind of like a different perspective on how people live. Like, cause like people in Europe live a lot differently than people in America. Like
Yeah.
for a lot of different reasons, I
They
guess.
do.
But yeah, that's I guess 2016 would be for me. But looking forward, what is something that like what's a goal or something that like you want to do like in the next 10 years? Like not like life or career wise. Like it doesn't even have to be that. It could be just like something you want to do, something you want to see, something you want to like I don't know.
I'd like to read more.
Yeah. I kind of do too.
I feel like successful people read a lot.
Yeah.
And
feel like
I
it
would like
too.
to be more successful.
Yeah, reading. I am not a reader.
I'm getting into it, but it's tough. I mean, I think especially at our age, it's so easy to just, you can kind of be entertained and be really lazy. You don't have to put any work. You just put Netflix on and there you go. Like you just sit there and watch it. With reading, you actually have to read and think and imagine what's going on. But it actually seems, I don't know, I think I enjoy it more than just like binge watching The Office. I like would rather read my book and like learn the story. It's more rewarding.
Yeah, definitely. But like the thing is like with that, it's just like I've always tried to read and like I pick up a book and I'm just like, God, I don't want to just look at pages of words.
That's
like,
what I mean. It's easy to be lazy about it.
You know, that's what I like. I used to like reading comic books a lot when I was younger because I
Yeah.
like the pictures. I like picture books.
Picture books.
essentially.
You could
But
still
comic
read
books have
some-
more, like-
You could get through a lot of picture books in the next decade.
The thing is, like, I liked the comic books though because like they were like more dense than like Goodnight Moon or like like
What's
Rainbow
like
Fish.
the
or any
next
of those,
level? It's like a graphic novel.
yeah, exactly.
You should
graphic
read
novel.
some. They have
Yeah.
some really like dope graphic novels out there. There's one called Mouse, which is about like the Holocaust.
Read that in high school.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I read that in high school too. Like, there's some stuff out there that's more like intense. It's not just for kids.
I read Watchmen too in high school, and
Oh, yeah?
that was really good. And they have the HBO series, which is pretty good too, that I've been
Mm-hmm.
watching. So quick little aside there. But yeah, reading, it's just I don't know. And that's another thing. Like it kind of like it's like watching movies with subtitles. It's like I don't like watching like
Yeah.
movies with subtitles because it's like I'd rather not. Like if I want to read, I'll just get a book, and I never want to read. So, in other words, I'm illiterate, which means that I can read. I just choose not to.
Slowly becoming illiterate.
Sure.
One day.
One day at a time. First one. Sweaty and clammy hands.
Oh
I
man,
hate sweaty hands.
this has been a big problem for me lately.
I'll go to a lot of parties and I'll out, I'll be out somewhere or walking around to class and I'll see somebody I know. And I'll be like, hey, and give them a dap.
Hey, dab them up.
The worst thing is dapping somebody and feeling sweaty hands
I
and
thought
having
you were
their
talking about-
sweat, having their
Yeah.
sweat like rub off on your hands.
I thought you were talking about your hands being sweaty and clammy.
I hate that too.
Yeah.
But I mean, yeah, my hands don't really get that sweaty, but
Yeah.
they kind of are right now. 'Cause it's hot,
Mine
but,
kind of do too sometimes. Like if you're like sitting in a classroom in a sweatshirt or something. And,
yeah.
like, I hate that.
But there's kids out there that
it's
I
sweaty
know.
hand season out here.
I'm not gonna share any names, but there are kids that I
Turk.
know that have these sweatiest hands, or they're really clammy. And like, have you ever felt someone's hands where they feel like super like
Cold.
yeah, cold and
like
like
a cold sweat.
cold
kinda
and like
feeling.
rusty. They feel almost like
Rusty.
Like,
I don't know if I could say rusty.
I guess rusty is not a good word, but like cold and like
Yeah.
dry.
Yeah, I'm not.
You
a
know,
fan
like
of that.
I don't.
I'm
like
off
the,
that.
like clammy hands.
I'm off clammy
I am
hands.
not clammy. I do not like clammy hands. If you got clammy hands, get some moisturizer. If you got sweaty hands, wipe them off. Like I hate having to feel your sweat on my hands.
Yeah, dude. Like the other day, I was at like a networking event. Like meeting people, trying to find a job, and my hands for some reason were like so sweaty, and like I was like meeting people left and right, like shaking hands with everybody. I was like having to like wipe my hand off, and it was just a big bother. It was a current bother of mine.
Number 2, cords. I
Cords.
despise cords.
I've been playing with this cord all day.
Cords suck. I purchased a wireless charger for my phone and my Apple Watch, solely for the reason of not wanting to use cords. I hate cords. They always get tangled. And like, even if you like wrap them up, they'll find a way to get tangled.
Yeah.
Like, and the worst thing is if you try and put several cords in one bag, they'll find a way to just magically all be intertwined and
Intertwined
tangled together, and then I'm
tangled
sitting
up.
there like trying to pull it all apart,
Yeah.
and I'm like,
you have to like find one of them and like
Yeah.
lead it through, and then
Yeah.
find the next one.
you're like threading the needle and
Yeah.
like pulling it. That stuff bothers the hell out of me.
It's almost
hate
like you're
cords.
knitting.
Like we're in 2019, we should not have cords anymore, people.
I don't know,
Like,
man. I don't know if I'm with you on this one. I don't really have much of a problem with cords.
It
It is annoying when they get like mixed up though.
Yeah, it's like they just magically mix together. Like you'll try your
Yeah.
best to separate them, but they'll just come together so often.
Yeah, but what would we do without cords?
Yeah,
We'd be screwed.
we would be screwed without cords.
Yeah, think
but,
about that.
But we're already moving into a cordless age.
We are moving
slowly
towards
but
that
surely.
direction. Yeah,
Cords are
like
becoming
you get
less
like
and less.
your like wireless Beats, like headphones and
Right,
stuff.
your
like, all that
headphones,
kind of
AirPods.
stuff. AirPods, yeah.
And not only that, like think about cords. Phones used to have cords.
Yeah.
You used to like,
True.
remember the old movies
it was
where
in
you
your
had like
kitchen.
you'd have to like bring the cord, like drag the phone
Yeah,
cord. Like,
yeah.
I remember
Like
those
if you're
days.
walking through your house.
The home phone. Like who even owns a home phone anymore?
We do.
Do you have a home phone?
Yeah, we still have it.
Really?
I mean, like nobody ever uses it. like it never rings, but like if you wanted to pick it up and call somebody, you could do that.
Yeah. Interesting.
But yeah.
Number 3, dropping things I'm carrying at different times. Okay, this one was kind of hard to
Like if you have like a bunch of stuff in your hands, you
right. This is like if I'm carrying a bunch of stuff. So for example, let's assume carrying my laptop, my laptop charger, my phone, all in my hands, and then let's just say I drop my phone, so I go down and pick it up, and the charger slips out of my hand, and then I have to pick up the phone, and then I got to pick up the charger, and then the computer slips out, and like it's when you're carrying a bunch of stuff, and you just instead of dropping it all at once, you're dropping different parts at different times.
Lots of hand movement right now from TJ.
Yeah, I'm getting a lot of hand movement that no one can see.
You guys can't see it, but
bad radio, but yeah, if you're carrying a bunch of stuff and you're just dropping it all like at different times, it's so frustrating because it's like I gotta pick this up, then I get up, and then I gotta pick. That slips out. Gotta pick that up.
You have to try and like hold the other stuff like as you bend down to grab your
I can't
shit,
remember the specific example of what caused me to want to write this down, but it is something that has plagued me for a long time because I'm very uncoordinated. And
dude, it's the worst when you have like notebooks and like pens and pencils in your hands, and then like you drop like all your pencils and have to like one by one pick them up like, with your shit in your hands still.
That shit is tough.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of that.
So number 4, empty hand sanitizer in public. This okay, I am the biggest hand sanitizer guy of all time. I love hand sanitizer. Every time I see it, I use it. Like if it's on someone's desk where I work, like at I work in the office at the Shaughnessy Center, and like a lot of people
like in a classroom too.
or in a classroom, people on their desks will have the hand sanitizer. Every time I get a squirt. Because I love the feeling of it. I love like feeling clean on my hands. Because I'm kind of like a germaphobe a little bit, like not like Howie Mandel version, but like I am kind of a little bit of a germaphobe. Like I don't like germs. I don't like bugs either.
Nothing wrong with some hand.
Yeah,
some
love hand sanitizer.
Nothing wrong with it.
So what inspired me on this is Ohio State here at school. They have a bunch of hand sanitizer like dispensers around campus.
Yeah, like everywhere.
The worst thing ever is sticking your hand under there to get the hand sanitizer. Nothing comes out. And this happens to me so much at school. And it's like, why even have these things if you don't bother refilling them?
If you're an OSU janitor, like you better get your shit
It's almost
together,
like they want to make it look like
TJ's coming for you.
It's almost like they want to make it look like they're sanitary when really they're not.
Because if you're listening, OSU, you have to retrain your janitors like immediately.
Not even that. Just have them come over with a thing of sanitizer and pour it into the thing. Like that's all you have to do.
Isn't it like pods you can like switch out?
Yeah,
like
or
a
something.
Big thing. It's easy.
Yeah, there's probably a bag you put in there.
Yeah,
but it's frustrating because it's like, I love this. I always get excited. I'm like, ooh, sanitizer, especially before I eat, and then I'm like sticking my hand under there like 4 or 5 times trying to activate because it's like an automatic thing. It has like the sensor, and I'm like, come on. So, empty hand sanitizer. Public places, work on your sanitizers. Number 5. Automatic scooters. The birds, the limes.
The birds.
This
spins, is going to be
the lifts.
A very, very controversial segment
These
here.
things
this is going to be an
piss
argument.
me off.
You're crazy.
When I'm driving. I'm driving.
Okay. All right.
Because
we're on the same page then.
When you're riding these scooters, myself included, the laws mean nothing.
The laws do not apply.
The traffic laws do not apply. You're riding on the sidewalk. You're doing jumps off the curb. You're freaking crossing out in traffic.
Yeah,
you're just like, you have no regard for human life.
I have reckless abandon for my own life if I'm on one of those scooters. Like I'll dart out in front of a fucking like bus or a truck coming at me. I do not care. Like you feel so quick and agile when you're on it.
Yeah, you're like swerving.
You're swerving like in between people. If you're riding a scooter and like you're like not being aggressive, you're doing it wrong.
Right. I love riding them. I have a love-hate relationship. This is more of a love-hate relationship because I love riding them, but I hate driving with them around because like they're just people just jolt out in front of you. Like they don't give a shit.
I actually have a story about this.
Go ahead.
Yeah. So I was driving my girlfriend to class at the beginning of the year this year. And, so it's like right outside the classroom and she's getting out and a guy on a fucking scooter hits my car door and crashes. Like she was, yeah.
Oh
Like she
my
was
gosh.
getting out of the car, like about to take a step out, and a guy on a scooter crashes into my door and just falls. But like it wasn't like a direct hit, but you know, it was pretty close. Like if she were getting out, like she would have gotten smacked.
Wow.
It was insane.
Yeah, the people have no regard. And another thing, one quick story, I was pulling out of our parking lot in my car, and I have a backup camera, so I was like looking, and there was nothing there, and I just, boom, as soon as I back up, boom, and I'm like, what the fuck did I just hit? So I got out of my car,
And you hit a scooter.
There's a scooter, like, that fell over, like, because I just love tapped it. Like, I didn't hit it very hard because I wasn't going fast. I was going like 1 mile per hour, so like love tapped it. But luckily there was no damage done to my car. But if there was, I literally would have thrown hands because like I was so mad. I was like, "This is
throwing
bullshit."
hands with
like,
the scooter.
Yeah, I literally grabbed the thing and just chucked it. I was like, "Fuck you, bird." So, yeah. So scooters.
That's funny.
Could take them or leave them, but
it's a 2-sided coin for sure because
Definitely.
they're so much fun. Like they're so convenient to ride around on.
Exactly.
But they're such a menace when you're like walking or like you're in the car.
Number 6, people that shoot on the unused basketball hoop while a game is going on. Real quick.
Annoying.
I play a lot of pickup basketball, and one thing that bothers the hell out of me is when somebody just comes on with their basketball and while the game is going on one side of the court, they're shooting
on the other
side.
basket.
Because what happens is I'll get a turnover or a
it'll be
rebound, and we'll be
break.
wanting to get a transition bucket. So I'm really good in transition. That's one of my best like qualities as a basketball player. So I'm always trying to push the ball down the floor. And the worst thing ever is when some idiot is shooting on the other side of the court and the ball's bouncing around and you're dribbling and it just screws up your transition. It stops the ball.
I don't play much basketball, but
And I'm just like, dude,
that's not cool.
Stop. Like there's a game going on. Basketball is a fast-paced game and you can't have,
It's not like he's
idiots out
looking
there
at
just
the other
shooting
side either.
Yeah. It's like wait your turn to get on the floor. Like stop interfering with our game. Like frustrating. And then last one,
He's trying to warm up, man.
Last one, I tweeted about this yesterday. People that use lockers without locks at the gym.
At the gym.
Yeah, this frustrates me
That's
because
annoying.
like I'll be looking for an open locker because lockers are few and far between at the RPAC because there's so many students and the school's overpopulated, which is a whole nother discussion. But
that could be a whole.
Yeah, that could be
like
a
a
whole. That's
full
gonna be
episode.
a whole segment. But this frustrates the hell out of
Yeah,
me
it's
because like I'll
annoying.
see a locker and I'll be like, oh, here we go, open it up.
Oh, here we go.
Winter coat,
Jackpot.
backpack,
Right.
boots. So I said Ohio State should make a rule where if you don't rent a lock, because you can rent a lock for free.
It's free. Like
at the
all you do is
sports
swipe your
shop.
Buck ID.
Yeah,
And they
rent
give you a lock to
I do it
use.
every day.
I do it every single time.
Right. So it's like, why can't you just take the time to do that? Why would you want to leave your stuff unattended anyway?
What was your rule though? You were saying.
I said Ohio State should make a rule that if you use a locker without a lock, people should be allowed to steal your stuff.
I'm down, dude. I'm so down for
So,
this rule.
Yeah, so like if I see that
Oh,
locker,
a nice Canada Goose jacket.
yeah, ooh,
open.
trying it
locker.
on.
Wow,
Oh,
it's my size.
Yeah, it fits perfectly. Perfectly.
Oh, dude, I was hoping I'd find a new pair of Tims today at the gym.